Bruh.
Whoa. Welcome to the Triple T Planters Podcast. I'm your host, and I'm back. Master Cheeze in full effect. Happy holidays. Thanksgiving was a blast. And it was a blast unless you are a Chicago Bears fan. Yuck. Yuck. It's more yuck than 3 weeks of leftover Thanksgiving food. Throw it away. All right. I just wanted to talk about something that might be a little bit controversial for the fans of Bears, people who are fans of the Bears, people who may be a fan of the podcast. I might be the only person in America that might appreciate Matt Eberflus's ability to be a coach, and I think that there may be another opportunity for him to be a head coach. I don't know, and it feels kind of weird with politics. But we're just going to touch on the Lions versus Bears game, and we're going to touch on some good points. That way I can point those things out. And then we're going to really focus on what really happened in the last minute of that game. Yes, we are going to relive another nightmare. First, let's start from the top. Bears came out flat early in the game. Offense had 2 consecutive 3-and-outs. Bears stayed on the football field for all but 1 minute and 30 seconds in the first quarter, going up against the number one team, one of the number one teams in the NFL, coming out of the NFC. Maybe not a big deal to some, but a big deal to me. So now, with 2 consecutive 3-and-outs, the Bears were able to get out of the half with a red zone fumble and a fumble recovery. They were able to get out of that with a red zone fumble recovery. And they were able to get out of the half with the score 16-0. Again, maybe not a big deal to some, but a big deal to me. The Bears are playing the Lions. This is a 10-1 football team, okay? This was the first game this whole season when neither of their running backs scored a touchdown. Bears gave up 2 touchdowns and a lot of field goals. So I'm saying that because Matt Eberflus' defense was balling, okay? They were holding it down. They were holding down the fort. And, you know, with a team like this, if they had a quality offense, they could make some noise as a wild card team. But unfortunately, growing pains, because we also have a lot of issues on offense and we also have a rookie quarterback. And we're going to discuss Caleb's performance a little bit. We're going to talk about Christian McCaffrey's injury. And we're also going to look at a small school out of Indiana. But we're going to progress right here, and we're going to talk about the Bears as we continue to move forward. Bears defense held tight, and they didn't give either one of them back over 100 yards. So let's look at the last drive for the Chicago Bears, that which ultimately got Matt Eberflus fired. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's controversial. Matt Eberflus was professional from the top to the bottom. He recognizes the shortcomings of his ball club, and he kept it as professional as he could, and he didn't throw Caleb under the bus as much as he could have on his way out, seeing as the amount of pressure he had trying to be fired from the first game of the season. So Caleb has the ball. We're on the 50-yard line. Caleb has the ball on the 50-yard line. Prime opportunity. We're doing good. And he takes a sack. Okay? We progress from that. Sack goes away. Caleb makes up for a run. We progress, and we get to a 4th and 2. All right. There's 4th and 4, 2 timeouts left. Cole Kmet gets a PI. Matt Eberflus, that's your fault. You're the head coach. Get your offense in order. Cool. Somehow, DJ Moore, although he was off the game, lackluster, runs a route, draws a PI. Cool. Good. Now we're back in the game, guys. Now you can tell the emotions of Bears fans are riling and raving, and we're like, we might can get this dub. We might can win. But again, like I told y'all before, and I'm going to tell y'all again, cue the other camera. Look at the other camera.
This is the side cam. The Bears are cursed.
The Bears are cursed. Okay? Tried to tell y'all that before, but y'all don't believe me. All right. There's 46 seconds. Bears have 2 timeouts. The ball's on a 25-yard line, and it's 1st and 10. Now, if you think to yourself, in what way can you blow this? How do you blow this game right now? You're in the driver's seat. At the very least, you can kick a field goal. Or do you really want to kick a field goal? Because it might get blocked. Have we tried this before? What thoughts are really going through Matt Eberflus' head? Does he really have the support to kick a field goal? Anyway, looking at the next couple plays, it's 1st and 10. 46 seconds to go on the clock. This is the ball game, guys. DJ Moore comes wide open across the middle of the field. Now, the Lions are playing man-to-man defense all game. Like, nobody is confused about this. Not a lot of mixed coverages with this one. DJ Moore is wide open. And all your first-round draft pick quarterback has to do is give him just a little bit of touch where he can catch the ball. But you know what happens? He throws the ball in the dirt. Okay. It's 2nd and 10. There's 40 seconds that passes from the time that ball hits the ground to the time the next play has to go off. And that offense gets to the line so late that Matt Eberflus is looking like, I got a rookie quarterback. I got to save him. And he burns a timeout. Caleb was hit on the prior pass, and he laid on the ground, and he got up. And at the timeout, and you can look at it right here, he's signaling to have the game clock reset on an incomplete pass. But you know what, Matt Eberflus? That's your fault. Your quarterback should be ready, you know? Get him ready. He should be prepared in that moment. You tried to save him. Cool. Now your timeout is gone. Now you're down to 1 timeout. So realistically speaking, you really still want to win this game, but you don't want to blow it. 2nd and 10. You get a penalty. Everybody say penalty. Penalty. Yes. We get a penalty. Puts us at 2nd and 20. Now we're at 2nd and 20. Okay. What does one want to do at 2nd and 20? We take a sack. We take a sack. Now, there's confusion. They say it was a QB draw, da-da-da-da. Tony Romo is a pretty good announcer. He does call his plays pretty good, but I'm assuming it might have been a QB draw. At the end of the day, the offense looks kind of confused. No one really knows what's going on, and Caleb Williams takes a sack. So he takes the sack. That's about 36 seconds on the clock between the time that this happened and it's going forward. Caleb Williams is waving all the guys. Come on now, hurry up. In fact, the lineman has to help Caleb signal the guys back. Like, I'm Caleb, this is the lineman. He like, hey, hurry up, bro. Come back. All right, cool. Everybody's hurrying to the line. Caleb Williams starts to signal the play with 21 seconds to go on the clock. These are not my opinions, guys. I watch football. I watch tape. If you don't believe me, watch the tape for yourself.
So was that you changing the play?
Yeah, I ended up changing the play because, with the play we had, 13 seconds, any play you have with 13 seconds with no time, or you had a timeout, but with, that situation, 13 seconds, make a call, and try and get seconds, make call.
Don't listen to this social media. Go actually watch the game film and break it down. Because this is what I'm trying to get you all to understand after I finish explaining this. Swift is standing wide open at the top of the screen if you watch the play. There's still 15 seconds to go. But you don't want to rush things, right? You don't want to have a delay. You don't want to get a penalty. DJ Moore and Cole Kmet are going back and forth. Who's on the line? Who's off the line? And time's ticking. Now, time's ticking. This is the ball game right here. You have one timeout because you just blew it for getting to the line late off an incomplete pass. So, really, if I'm the coach at this very moment in time, realistically thinking, do I trust my first round draft pick quarterback to make a headsy, gutsy play that gets us a quick 4, 5, maybe even 7 yards, puts us well within field goal range, that the clock can literally be at 1 second and I can use this timeout? Or do I burn the timeout right now with 15 seconds? Hope for a miracle of a first down, he catches it, goes out of bounds, and to get to my field goal team to kind of rush out there a little bit and kick a field goal. What do you think Matt Eberflus is thinking at this moment in time? Yes, okay, maybe after the sack you could have called it. Let's say 36 seconds on the clock. Do you think that it's realistic to say that, okay, we'll throw the ball out of bounds and then rush the field goal team on if it gets caught in the middle of the field, seeing as the field goal team has had a couple blocks already throughout the year and you already on the hot seat for that? Do you really want to trust that process? Matt Eberflus, it's just your fault. Even though you're thinking about the game and you're critically thinking about the situation, it's your fault. Not the fact that the 1st and 10 was thrown in the dirt. Not the fact that you got the sack. Not the fact that the penalty happened. None of that. It's your fault because you didn't call a timeout for your first round draft pick. All right, back to the scenario at hand. Caleb Williams is signaling the call. Swift is still standing wide open. Now, there's 6 seconds left on the clock when he snaps this ball. Do you think that 6 seconds is enough time to get a quick out route to the sidelines? If he gets tackled, do you think 6 seconds is enough time to still call timeout? How long do you think 6 seconds is in NFL terms? That's not a long time to you. 6 seconds is a long time. You can ask Tom Brady, or you can even ask Jaden Daniels. You know, it's funny, Bears fans forget how things work. The Bears had the opportunity to beat the Washington Commanders. There were 6 seconds on the clock. They dropped everybody back, hoping for a Hail Mary. And you know what Jaden Daniels did? He took a quick 12-yard out route to the sideline. Burnt 4 seconds off the clock. Left 2 seconds on the clock for him to throw a Hail Mary, and the rest is history. Caleb Williams, it's your turn. 6 seconds is left on the clock. What do you do? Do you think that the sideline is something that you're going to look for? Do you think you're going to try to make that opportunity? What do you think Caleb Williams was thinking? Do you think he was going for all guts and all glory? Swift is standing wide open in field goal range. You can go back and look at the tape once again. He's standing there open. Man, let's say that's not even Swift. Let's say Cole Kmet is open on the out route. Do you think that he looked and recognized any of those routes? Do you think he even thought that maybe he should take those routes? No. He decides to take the go route down the field. Now, if you look at 6 seconds, 6 seconds is a long time. But 6 seconds is not a long time when you take the ball, hold it, and throw it all the way downfield. And that's the ball game. Just like that. Just in an instant, you go from Bears could win to what the hell? The part about what I'm saying right here, guys, is that Caleb Williams is a really good quarterback. But I don't think that he takes the game as serious as he should at the moment in time. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Caleb Williams has a lot of room to grow. But this decision making is going to hurt whoever coach that he brings back in. I just don't understand how 36 seconds goes from a loss with a first-round draft pick quarterback, Heisman Trophy winner at the helm. Yes, that's cool. Let's blame Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, you did a terrible job at coaching your guys. Did a terrible job at the defense. You did a terrible job at managing these timeouts. Or did you trust your quarterback to be a Heisman first-round draft pick quarterback? A lot of people talk about Caleb like he was a third-round draft pick. A lot of people talk about Caleb like he's not making $7 million a year as a rookie. The tough part about it is that quarterbacks that are rookies need to develop and they need to grow and they need to learn the game. And unfortunately, the Bears are in a cycle effect of this. Quarterbacks are getting better, but it takes time. So much time that you lose a whole season with a playoff Super Bowl caliber defense to the tune that it is wiped off the face of the planet now to restore this offensive set of mind, this offensive mindset. The Bears fired Matt Eberflus, and he's gone. And like I told you, I think another team is going to pick him up, and he's going to establish another defense elsewhere, and he'll do well. But what does that leave the Bears? Our Super Bowl hopes have been knocked back about another 2 to 3 years, and we must move forward. Right now, the interim coach, the OC, is at the helm, and that's good for him. This is his audition to be a head coach. A lot of other competition is there, but it seems that we enjoy this Tinder-like dating with our head coaches. We don't really want to grind through these tough times. We just want to, you know what? Let's go get another head coach. You know, it is tough to watch, but it's also tough to see the criticism that's given without understanding the facts. The fact is that Matt Eberflus had to bail Caleb out, use a timeout, come back, see 36 seconds on the clock, and trust that his quarterback would do his job. He did that because he's a good coach. Unfortunately, that's the situation you have when you have a rookie quarterback. Now we'll move forward. It's wrapped. The season's a wrap. I don't really want to talk about the Chicago Bears anymore going forward. We'll move on to other segments. They have to literally go on a 4-game win streak to really make this entertaining, knock off some divisional games. Then we can entertain the wild card race. But until then, we'll discuss how the Bears are going to project for next year. We'll try to get some other guys on the podcast to speak about that because I'm over talking about it. Too much energy for another L. So from there, we're going to talk about a school in Indiana, a very small school out of Indiana, East Noble. These boys were able to go down to state. They got to play in one of the biggest stadiums. It was a good opportunity for them. One of my former teammates, Ryan Robertson, defensive coordinator for the guys, really should have the head coach job, but sometimes politics doesn't fall in your favor. But at the end of the day, he really stuck it through. He put his passion, he put his heart out for these guys, and they end up coming up short down the stretch when they made it down the state. But they had a really good season. Defense was balling, held some shutouts, but when they got to the big game, just didn't really have enough. But I just want to say congratulations to Ryan Robertson and the East Noble Knights. I believe that's what they are, the East Noble Knights. You guys did a good job this year. Hopefully you guys can bounce back. In addition, I want to give a shout out to Bodie, Jared Bodie. He's also a defensive coordinator. He's at Taylor University. We spoke about this small school out of Indiana. He really did his job as best he can with the guys that he had on his team. They were able to have a great season. They ended up going 9-2, but fell short from making the NAIA playoffs. And both these guys, if they're competitors, they'll look to bounce back and be better next year. So sometimes you don't really win championships the first go around. You gotta learn how to lose in order to learn how to win. And that's what I feel like is going to happen with Caleb. Like, Caleb is really getting struck with this. We're a cursed bug right now. And I think that he'll be a great quarterback facing a lot of this adversity. The most important part for Caleb is that he just has to take the game a little bit more seriously. And he has to understand that people are very passionate when it comes to being in Chicago. So once he gets that figured out and, gets the right set of guys around him, I think he'll be, an MVP caliber quarterback throughout the league. So that's a shout out to them. Leave it at that. I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, holidays. Make sure y'all cleaning up y'all guts, man. Y'all eating that turkey and that ham, and I don't know what y'all doing, but realistically speaking, if you don't get that out the gut, it's going to sit there and you're going to pile it on up. So make sure you get some fiber in your diet, do a little exercise, sweat a little bit, breathe, blah, blah, blah. But until then, we could try to keep this little nice and short. Until then, that's all we have to say on the Treasure Tree Therapy Planners podcast. We're planting seeds today for future generation success.
3 people